The stars above Earth were silent, but the silence was wrong. Commander Arik Jensen stared at the radar screens in the orbital command station, his jaw tight. Something was out there, moving faster than anything humanity had ever seen. It wasn't just another satellite or a rogue asteroid. This was deliberate, calculated. Alien ships, sleek and dark, gliding silently toward Earth's orbit. No one had warned them. The Galactic Council had always ignored Earth, considering humanity primitive, too small to matter. And maybe they had been right. Until now. Arik pressed his hand against the cool glass window of the station, watching the tiny blinking dots grow larger, clearer. The aliens weren't just observing, they were probing, testing defenses that humans didn't even know they had. "Commander," a voice called. Lieutenant Mirachen's tone trembled slightly. "They're scanning. Weapon signatures. Not natural. They know we're here." Arik didn't answer immediately. His mind raced. He had seen simulations, war games, strategies played out in theory, but this was real. This was life and death. The humans in the control room all waited for his command. They knew his next words could decide the planet's fate. "Prepare the defense grid," he finally said. "Activate all protocols and get me a report on the alien ship's formation. I want every angle covered, every possible move." While the team scrambled, Arik allowed himself a brief glance at the Earth below. Blue oceans shimmered peacefully, cities glowing in their night lights. People were sleeping, unaware that a threat they had dismissed as science fiction was already circling above. At the same time, in a hidden laboratory under the Nevada desert, Dr. Lena Ortiz worked feverishly. Her team had been developing something extraordinary, something humans had hoped they would never need. A new kind of weapon, one that didn't rely on numbers or brute force but intelligence, ingenuity, and risk. "This could work," Lena whispered to herself. "It has to." The first test results were promising, but the weapon was incomplete. Every moment wasted could cost Earth its first strike, its chance to survive. She glanced at a holographic display showing alien ship schematics intercepted by satellites. They were fast, smart, and deadly, but not perfect. Every system had weaknesses. Every organism had fear. Back in orbit, panic was contained but palpable. Arik's second-in-command, Captain Taro Vin, reported a problem. "Commander, one of the scout ships, Scout Delta, has been hit. We lost communication." No response. Arik's stomach sank. That was faster than expected. The aliens weren't just testing, they were attacking. "Confirm visual," Arik ordered. "I want eyes on it now." The screen switched to live feeds. Smoke trailed behind Scout Delta, a tiny dot surrounded by the immensity of space. The ship was burning, spiraling slowly. The crew inside had no chance to fight back. Arik felt a cold anger settle in his chest. "They underestimated us," he said quietly, more to himself than anyone else. "And that's their mistake." At the same time, across the globe, news outlets buzzed with confusion and fear. Satellites picked up signals, strange energy bursts in the upper atmosphere. Ordinary people saw strange lights in the sky, captured blurry images of the alien ships and shared them online. Governments scrambled to respond, but no one had a plan for a threat like this. Back in the command station, Arik leaned over the console, running scenarios in his head. Human weapons were outdated, limited in range, and largely untested in space combat. But humans had something the aliens didn't: adaptability, creativity, risk-taking. Humanity had always survived impossible odds. "Commander," Taro said, drawing his attention, "we have one chance. The prototype weapon, Lena's project. We can deploy it now, but it's risky. It's untested." Arik considered the options. Wait and risk annihilation, or act and gamble everything on one unproven idea. "Prepare it," he ordered. "Launch window opens in 5 minutes. If this fails, at least we will have tried." Meanwhile, deep in alien space, the lead alien strategist observed Earth's sudden defensive movements. He frowned. Their calculations had assumed humans would hide, surrender, or flee. Instead, humans were fighting back. They were unpredictable, dangerous in their simplicity, yet terrifying in their courage. Back on Earth, the prototype weapon activated. Light and energy danced across the launch platform, a silent roar of power. Arik watched as the first missiles, guided not just by computers, but by human intuition and ingenuity, hurtled toward the alien fleet. Space itself seemed to hold its breath. The first impact was astonishing. One alien ship exploded in a brilliant flash, debris scattering across orbit. The other ships faltered, scanning, unsure how to respond. Humanity had struck first. Humanity had survived its first real test. Auric clenched his fists, a mix of relief and dread flooding him. This was only the beginning. The Galactic Council would not remain silent for long. And the aliens, they would retaliate. But for now, humanity had made a statement. Earth would not be ignored. Earth would fight back. And somewhere in the darkness of space, the alien strategist's eyes narrowed. Humanity was dangerous. Too dangerous. The aftermath of Earth's first strike still echoed across orbit. Commander Auric Jensen stood on the command deck, staring at the blinking radar screens. The alien fleet had faltered, but they were not gone. Far from it. Their movements were cautious now, calculating. They were observing, analyzing every human response. "Commander," Lieutenant Mira Chen said, pointing at a monitor, "we've intercepted a communication. They're confused. They didn't expect resistance. They're discussing a retaliatory strike." Auric's jaw tightened. That was exactly what he feared and exactly what he had hoped for. Humans had provoked a reaction, and now the enemy would show themselves. But humanity had one advantage the aliens didn't expect: cleverness born from survival. Below Earth, in the secret desert lab, Dr. Lena Ortiz and her team worked feverishly. The prototype weapon had survived its first test, but now they needed to refine it. Every adjustment counted. "This is our chance," Lena said, pacing. "If we strike first in their territory, we can take out key ships before they bring the full fleet down on us." Auric agreed. "We need a small strike team. Fast, precise, and smart. Not brute force. Use everything the aliens don't expect." The strike fleet consisted of human pilots who had trained for this moment their entire lives. Young, brave, and fearless, they knew the odds were against them. But that didn't matter. Courage, intuition, and improvisation were humanity's true weapons. The plan was simple but dangerous. Humans would infiltrate the alien reconnaissance station at the edge of the solar system, strike quickly, and retreat before the main fleet could react. Auric watched the pilots through the glass of the command deck. Each one carried the weight of billions on their shoulders, yet they held their heads high. Mira glanced at Auric. "They're ready," she said softly. "Then let's make history," Auric replied. The small fleet entered the void, engines glowing faintly against the black of space. Sensors scanned constantly, every blip analyzed. The alien station loomed ahead, massive and foreboding, a fortress in the emptiness of space. Lights flickered along its hull, alien symbols that humans could barely decipher. Captain Taro Vin took the lead. "Keep formation. Watch for traps. Remember, they expect fear. Don't give them any." The humans advanced silently, almost invisible against the stars. Then suddenly alarms blared across their ships. The alien station had detected them. But instead of panic, the humans reacted with speed and precision. Lasers flashed, shields glowed, and explosions erupted across the station's surface. The humans had learned to anticipate alien movements, to strike where the enemy was weakest. Each maneuver was calculated yet daring, a perfect blend of intelligence and courage. Inside the station, the alien commander was furious. How could these humans, primitive in every way, know so much? "They cannot be predicted," he hissed. Auric's fleet was already inside the station's perimeter. Lena's refined weapon was deployed, sending energy pulses that disabled the station's shields and communications. The humans moved quickly, taking out critical systems and gathering intelligence. But the aliens were not idle. Fighter drones swarmed, attempting to block the humans' path. The pilots dodged and weaved, taking calculated risks that no alien would dare. Mira Chen's ship shot straight through a swarm, narrowly escaping destruction. The battle reached its climax when the humans reached the station's core. Lena's calculations had been perfect. Just one more strike and the station would collapse. Auric watched as energy beams fired, systems overloaded, and alarms shrieked. The station shook violently. Fires ignited along its hull, and finally, with a deafening roar, it exploded in a brilliant flare of light. Debris scattered across space. The human fleet didn't pause to celebrate. Retreat was immediate. The alien fleet had begun its pursuit, now fully alert. Auric's ships dove through asteroid belts and nebula clouds, using every trick in the book to stay ahead. During the retreat, Mira glanced at Auric. We We did it, the station is gone, Arik shook his head. Yes, and now they know we are not weak. This changes everything. The Galactic Council will be watching closely, and the aliens, they will be angry. Back on Earth, civilians watched the news with awe and fear. Humans had struck the enemy first, proving they could fight in a battle no one thought they could survive. The world erupted in excitement, yet leaders remained cautious. Humanity had won a battle. But the war was only beginning. In the shadows of space, the alien strategist observed the destruction. He tapped his clawed fingers against the control panel, eyes narrowed. Humans are unpredictable, he murmured. We must adjust strategy. Underestimating them was our greatest mistake. Arik returned to the command deck, weary but determined. Every mission, every sacrifice, every calculated risk had proven one thing. Humans could fight beyond their limits. Intelligence, courage, and ingenuity were stronger than any technology alone. But the victory came with a heavy weight. The Galactic Council, now alerted, would watch Earth closely. And somewhere in the dark reaches of space, the alien forces were regrouping. Their anger would be swift and merciless. Arik clenched his fists, staring at the stars. Humanity had struck first, but the real test, the war for survival, was just beginning. And somewhere in the silent void, the alien strategist made a decision. The humans had shown they were dangerous, too dangerous to ignore. The first strike had been a success, but the real battle, the one that would determine the fate of Earth and the galaxy, was yet to come. Far beyond Earth, in the cold expanse of space, the Galactic Council's chambers were alive with whispers and tension. Tall, elegant beings of various alien races paced along polished floors, their voices low but urgent. Holographic displays floated above the floor, showing the destruction of the reconnaissance station. One human fleet had done what no one had expected. It had struck first and succeeded. High Chancellor Virel, a being of shimmering blue skin and silver eyes, slammed a clawed hand onto the council table. This is unacceptable. Humanity is not to be taken seriously. They are insignificant. Another council member, a reptilian strategist named Karthus, shook his head. You underestimate them, Virel. They are unpredictable. Their strike was precise, intelligent, even daring. We must reconsider our approach. Virel's eyes flashed with anger. They are weak. They should have been easy to destroy. But Karthus was insistent. Weak, perhaps, but clever, and dangerous in ways we have never anticipated. If we continue to ignore them, they will become a threat no one can stop. Meanwhile, deep in the shadows of the council chambers, a human intelligence team worked silently. Using intercepted signals and covert probes, they had gained access to secret council communications. No human had ever been this close to the council's inner workings. Yet here they were, watching and listening, learning secrets that could turn the tide of war. Arik Jensen reviewed the intercepted data on the command deck. They're planning a full-scale invasion, he said quietly. But they are divided. The council is arguing. Some want to attack immediately, some want to observe. Lieutenant Mira Chen frowned. So, we have time, but not much. Yes, Arik replied. We have a small window. We strike wisely, we can stay ahead. We fail, and the council will come down on us with everything they have. Far across space, on the alien homeworld, Karthus presented a report to his fleet. Humans have outsmarted us. They act with intelligence and courage we did not anticipate. They are dangerous. Prepare the fleet. Full mobilization will begin within standard rotation cycles. But first, we strike at their vulnerability. And what the aliens did not know was that humanity had already anticipated some of these moves. Lena Ortiz and her team were working day and night to enhance their weapon systems, refining energy pulses that could disable alien shields more efficiently. The tension aboard the human command station was palpable. Every sensor, every reading could mean life or death. Commander, Terovin said, we've detected alien patrols near the asteroid belt. They're looking for us. Good, Arik replied. Let them look. That means we are on their mind. That's where we want them. Meanwhile, the council debates grew heated. Some members argued that humans were a minor inconvenience, a species not worth attention. Others warned that ignoring them would be catastrophic. Virel paced furiously. I cannot allow a primitive species to defy the council. This will be remembered as an insult. Unseen, the human probes transmitted every debate back to Earth. Auric watched as the alien factions argued, learning their weaknesses and divisions. "They are divided," he said. "And humans? We are united, at least for now." Suddenly, a warning blared from the command deck. "Commander, sensors detect a human scientist. Lena Ortiz has been captured near the outer asteroid field."
Unknown ships cloaked. Aric's stomach tightened.
Lena had been working on critical technology, the secret weapon that could tip the balance. If she fell into alien hands, everything could be lost. "Prepare a rescue mission," Auric ordered. Fast and silent. "No mistakes," Mira looked at him, eyes wide. "Commander, the risk." "I know," Auric said firmly. "But we cannot let her fall. Not now, not ever. Humanity cannot afford to lose her knowledge, or her." Meanwhile, aboard a hidden alien cruiser, Lena Ortiz struggled in her restraints. Her eyes darted around the room, analyzing every detail. The aliens believed humans were weak, foolish, predictable. They were wrong. Lena smiled faintly. "They underestimate us," she whispered. Back on Earth, news reports trickled in. Civilian scientists and intelligence officers pieced together fragments of information, realizing that humans were not only capable of defending themselves, but were actively outsmarting alien powers. For the first time, humanity had a taste of true HFY, standing against impossible odds with courage and ingenuity. The rescue team prepared their ships, cloaking systems engaged, engines humming quietly. Auric briefed them, going over every detail, every calculation. "We go in, we retrieve Lena, and we come back. Fast, precise, and intelligent, remember. Humans have never been afraid to take risks. This is one of those moments." As the fleet moved into position, the alien strategist aboard the council cruiser narrowed his eyes. "Humans are clever, but cleverness has limits. They cannot escape the inevitable." But Auric and his team had learned that humans thrived on the impossible. They thrived where others hesitated, where logic and caution failed. This mission, rescuing Lena, was more than strategy. It was a test of courage, of ingenuity, and of the human spirit. And in the dark void between the stars, two forces prepared to collide: the calculated, disciplined alien council and the daring, unpredictable humans. The first clash of intelligence against instinct, logic against courage, was about to unfold. And one thing was clear: Earth would not bow. Humanity had already begun to rewrite the rules of the galaxy. The stars were cold and silent, but Earth's secret labs were alive with light and sound. Dr. Lena Ortiz paced in the cavernous underground facility, her eyes fixed on the holographic display of the alien fleet. The rescue mission had been a close call, but humanity had survived. Every second now counted. "This weapon has to work," Lena said, her voice tight with urgency. "If it fails, we fail. And if we fail, the Council will crush us before we can even fight." Commander Auric Jensen stood beside her, hands clasped behind his back. "We've tested it enough for now. We know the risks. It's time to deploy it." The weapon, codenamed Aegis, was humanity's most secret creation. Not a missile, not a laser, something entirely new. It harnessed energy in a way no alien race had ever seen. It could disrupt shields, overload systems, and even confuse advanced AI. But it was untested in full battle. Mira Chen frowned at the holographic simulation. "It's brilliant and terrifying, but are we ready to use it?" Auric's gaze was steady. "Ready or not, it's our best shot. The aliens are mobilizing. If we wait, we'll be crushed. We strike first, strike smart, and show them humans are not weak." The fleet moved silently through space, a small but determined group of ships carrying the prototype. Sensors scanned the void constantly, every blip a possible threat. The alien fleets were reorganizing, more cautious now, but their numbers far outmatched humanity's. The first engagement began near the outer asteroid belt. Human pilots darted between rocks and debris, using every asteroid as cover. The aliens fired relentlessly, their lasers cutting through space like blades. But the humans were faster, smarter. They anticipated alien moves, turning near misses into opportunities. Auric watched the live feed as Lena's weapon deployed for the first time in battle. A concentrated pulse shot toward an alien destroyer. The shields flickered, systems overloaded, and the massive ship shuddered violently. Explosions rippled across its hull. "Direct hit," Mira called out, eyes wide. "It actually works." But celebration was brief. Another wave of alien fighters emerged, faster, smarter, trying to flank the humans. The fleet dove into the asteroid field. weaving through space debris with impossible precision. Pilots shouted commands, lasers fired, shields glowed. The humans were outnumbered but never outsmarted. In the midst of battle, tragedy struck. A close ally of Aric's, Captain Elias Rourke, was hit by enemy fire. His ship spiraled out of control, disappearing into the black void. The loss was sharp, a reminder that victory came at a cost. Aric clenched his fists but did not falter. "Focus!" he shouted. "We can't stop now." Lena monitored the weapon's performance, adjusting energy outputs, calibrating pulses for maximum effect. Every strike disrupted alien systems, but every move also revealed human strategy. The aliens would adapt if given time. Suddenly, a massive alien cruiser emerged from hyperspace, far larger than anything the humans had faced. Its shields were nearly impenetrable and energy weapons flared against the fleet. Panic flickered among the pilots, but Aric remained calm. "This is it," he said quietly. "The Aegis will determine everything. Target their shield generators. Focus fire. Precision over power." The pulse launched, a concentrated wave of energy streaking across the void. The alien cruiser shuddered, shields flickering. Systems sparked and failed, sending alarms blaring through its command deck. For the first time, the massive ship was vulnerable. But the humans were not invincible. The cruiser retaliated, firing volleys that forced the fleet into evasive maneuvers. Mira's ship shivered as lasers grazed her hull. Every second was a struggle for survival. Amid the chaos, Lena's voice crackled through the comms. "Commander, I've found a pattern." "Their systems are linked in a way we can exploit. If we overload the main node, the entire fleet's coordination will fail." Aric nodded. "Do it. All ships converge on the main node. Precision, timing, everything depends on this." Energy pulses raced across space. Alien ships faltered, their movements chaotic. Confusion spread like wildfire, and humanity took advantage. One by one, alien vessels were disabled, explosions lighting the dark expanse. But then came the warning. The main alien fleet, unseen until now, was responding. Faster, stronger, and angrier than anything humans had faced. Retreat was impossible. Every ship had to fight with everything it had. Amid the battle, Aric thought of Earth below, the billions of people counting on them. Fear lingered, but courage burned brighter. Humanity had never given up, and they would not start now. The fight raged, ships exploding, lasers slicing through the void. Humans dodged, struck, and survived by ingenuity and teamwork. They were the underdogs, yes, but they were humans, and humans were never predictable. Finally, the Aegis's main pulse struck the alien flagship. Systems failed, lights dimmed, and the massive vessel began drifting, powerless. The alien fleet wavered, confused, leaderless. Humanity had proven its worth, but the victory was bittersweet. Aric surveyed the fleet. Ships damaged, some lost, and friends gone. The aliens had underestimated humans, yes, but now they would learn. The war was far from over. Aric clenched his jaw, looking at Lena. "This is only the beginning. The Council will react, and the aliens will strike back harder. But we have hope, and hope is human." Somewhere in the galaxy, the alien strategist watched the destruction unfold, anger and fear burning in his eyes. "These humans, they are dangerous. Too dangerous. We must destroy them, completely." And in the darkness, humanity's hidden weapon had awakened a force that would change the course of the galaxy forever. The galaxy was no longer silent. Everywhere humans looked, alien fleets stirred, reacting to Earth's first victories. Commander Aric Jensen stood on the command deck, eyes scanning the horizon. The enemy was stronger now, faster and far more relentless than before. But humanity had learned something crucial. The aliens underestimated them, and that could be exploited. "Commander," Lieutenant Mira Chen said, pointing at the holographic display, "the Council has authorized a full invasion. Every fleet under their control is moving toward the solar system." Aric exhaled slowly. "Then it's time. Humanity will not wait to be destroyed. We strike first, strike smart, and strike together." Earth's fleet now expanded with ships from allied nations, assembled in the asteroid belt. Each pilot knew the stakes. This wasn't a skirmish. This was a war that could determine the survival of their species. Lena Ortiz, working in her mobile lab aboard the flagship, monitored weapon systems. The Aegis had been refined, optimized for maximum impact. "If we can target their command nodes and disrupt communications, we can control the battlefield," she said. The first wave of alien ships arrived like a storm. Massive cruisers and agile fighters cut through space, weapons ready, shields blazing. Human ships darted between asteroids, using terrain and speed to their advantage. Humans were outnumbered, yes, but they were unpredictable. Unlike any enemy the Council had ever faced. Captain Taro Vin led a daring assault, dodging volleys of energy blasts while coordinating attacks across multiple ships. "Remember," he radioed, "intelligence over strength. They expect us to flee. We will confuse them." The battle erupted in flashes of light. Lasers streaked across the void, ships twisting, turning, and spinning to survive. Explosions rocked space, sending debris scattering in every direction. Arik's heart pounded, but he remained calm. Every move was calculated. Every risk measured, but never timid. Amid the chaos, Lena's voice crackled over comms. "Commander, their shield generators are connected through the flagship's main node. If we overload it, the fleet loses coordination." "Do it," Arik ordered. "All ships focus fire. Precision timing humanity's ingenuity. We have one chance." Energy pulses raced from the fleet toward the flagship. Systems failed one by one, shields flickering, weapons going offline. Confusion spread through the alien ranks, and the humans seized the advantage. Fighters broke formation, cruisers collided, and the once feared alien fleet became disorganized chaos. But the aliens were relentless. A new weapon emerged. A massive energy cannon capable of wiping out multiple human ships at once. Mira's ship shuddered as it grazed the blast. Pilots dodged and weaved, using every trick learned through desperate training and battlefield experience. Humans were resilient, adaptive, and fearless. "Hold formation," Arik shouted. "Do not let fear dictate your actions. Humans survive where logic fails." One by one, the alien ships fell, overwhelmed by human strategy and daring. Captain Elias Rourke's sacrifice in the previous battle haunted Arik, but it inspired every pilot to fight harder, faster, smarter. Then came the turning point. The flagship systems overloaded, cascading failures spreading through the alien fleet. Without their leader, the enemy became a mess of independent, vulnerable ships. The humans pressed the attack, striking at key nodes, disabling weapons, and outmaneuvering with brilliance born of desperation. But the war was not without cost. Human ships were lost, pilots injured, and allies sacrificed in daring maneuvers. Arik watched explosions consume friend and foe alike, the darkness of space lit by fire and fury. Every victory was tinged with sorrow. As the battle raged, Arik made a bold decision. "We push forward. Our goal is the enemy command cruiser. Take it down and the Council's invasion fails before it begins." The fleet surged toward the massive ship. Energy shields flared, weapons fired, and chaos consumed the void. Lena's calculations guided the fleet, pinpointing the flagship's weaknesses. With precision strikes, the ship faltered, systems failing. The humans pressed the advantage, moving with courage and coordination. Finally, the flagship was disabled, drifting powerless. Alien ships scrambled, confused and leaderless. Humanity had survived, and for the first time the Galactic Council truly understood. Humans were not to be underestimated. Arik's voice carried over the comms, calm but firm. "This is only the beginning. Humanity has fought, yes, but we have shown what we can do. Never forget, intelligence, courage, and ingenuity are stronger than any weapon. We are human. We survive." Far in the depths of space, the alien strategist watched the destruction of his fleet. His face twisted in fury and disbelief. "Impossible," he whispered. "How can such a primitive species outthink us? They are dangerous." Back on Earth, civilians cheered and cried, hearing reports of the humans' victories. The underdogs had survived, striking against impossible odds. Humanity had proven its worth in the galaxy, earning respect through courage, intelligence, and resilience. But the war was far from over. The Council would respond. Allies of the aliens would mobilize, and humanity would face challenges beyond imagination. Yet one truth remained. Humans had made their mark. They had shown that even in the darkest void, humanity could shine brighter than any star. Commander Arik Jensen looked toward the stars, determination burning in his eyes. The fight for survival, for recognition, and for the very soul of humanity was only beginning. Somewhere in the shadows, the alien strategist swore revenge. But humanity would not bow, and Earth would continue to strike back. And in the quiet moments between battles, one thought echoed across every human mind. The galaxy had underestimated humans, and that was its greatest mistake. The galaxy had changed. The humans of Earth had fought battles no one expected them to survive, and they had survived them all. Commander Arik Jensen stood on the command deck of the flagship, gazing at the distant alien fleets massing beyond the asteroid belt. The final confrontation was coming, an all-or-nothing battle that would decide the fate of Earth and humanity's place in the galaxy. "Commander?" Lieutenant Mira Chen said, pointing at the holographic display. "The Council is sending everything they have. Every fleet, every cruiser, every weapon." Arik nodded, jaw tight. "Then we fight smarter, harder, and braver than ever. Humanity has survived impossible odds before, and we will do it again. This is our final strike. Make it count." The humans had one advantage no alien could ever fully anticipate: ingenuity and courage born of necessity. Lena Ortiz had refined the Aegis weapon to its peak. Its pulses could disrupt entire fleets, overload AI systems, and create chaos among even the most disciplined forces. But the weapon was only part of the plan. Humans would strike strategically, targeting command nodes, supply lines, and communication hubs, turning numbers into vulnerability. As the fleet prepared to engage, Arik's eyes scanned the ships. Pilots were tense but determined. Engineers checked weapons, shields, and engines. Every human knew what was at stake. This was no longer just defense. It was the fight for recognition, survival, and honor. The alien fleets advanced, massive shadows against the star-studded void. Energy flares and shield pulses lit the darkness. The alien strategist watching from his flagship believed his forces were unstoppable. He had underestimated humans before. He would not make the same mistake, he told himself. But humans thrived on unpredictability. Arik's fleet split into smaller squadrons, darting through asteroid fields, weaving in and out of space debris. The aliens fired relentlessly, but the humans anticipated, adapted, and improvised at every turn. Each maneuver was calculated but daring, turning risk into advantage. "Deploy the Aegis," Arik ordered. Lena's team activated the weapon, sending pulses of energy toward the alien command nodes. Shields flickered, systems failed, and confusion spread through the enemy ranks. Alien ships collided, misfired, and became chaotic targets. The battle was brutal. Ships exploded, debris scattered, and pilots shouted commands over comms. Mira's ship twisted to avoid a massive energy blast, then returned fire with precision strikes. Arik coordinated the fleet, every movement synchronized, every risk calculated. Amid the chaos, Arik noticed the alien strategist personally commanding reinforcements. He was a brilliant tactician, ruthless and disciplined. But humans were unpredictable. Courage, ingenuity, and the refusal to surrender were weapons no alien could fully counter. "Target the flagship," Arik ordered. "We take it down and the rest will falter." The fleet surged, weaving through fire and debris, concentrating every strike on the alien flagship. Lena's calculations guided energy pulses to vulnerable points, shields flickering, weapons going offline. One final coordinated strike shattered the command core. The flagship drifted powerless, sparks flying. The alien strategist's eyes widened in disbelief. "Impossible. A primitive species," he whispered as the flagship's systems collapsed. Chaos rippled through the alien fleets. Without leadership, coordination failed. Ships drifted aimlessly, some destroyed, others retreating in confusion. Arik's fleet pressed the advantage, striking decisively. Humans moved faster, thought quicker, and adapted continuously. Every victory carried a cost, ships lost, pilots gone, but the humans pressed on. Courage burned brighter than fear, and intelligence triumphed over brute force. Finally, the enemy flagship was disabled completely. The remaining alien fleets, leaderless and disoriented, began a slow retreat. Humanity had done the impossible. They had survived, and now they had turned the tide. Arik exhaled, relief and exhaustion washing over him. He looked at Mira, Lena, and the remaining pilots. "We did it," he said quietly. "We survived. We proved that humans are not weak, that we can fight and win." Back on Earth, billions watched news feeds as human victories unfolded across the galaxy. Humanity had stood against impossible odds and emerged triumphant. The Galactic Council, forced to observe, fell silent. For the first time, a species it had dismissed as primitive had proven its worth. Humans were clever, courageous, and unyielding. Humans had earned their place among the stars. Lena Ortiz smiled faintly as she monitored the remaining alien forces. "It's not over," she said. But humanity has shown its strength. The galaxy will remember Earth. Somewhere in the shadows, the alien strategist reeled from the defeat. He had underestimated humans, and now his plans lay in ruins. Humanity had rewritten the rules of the galaxy, and the Council could not ignore them. Auric gazed at the stars, thinking of the sacrifices, the courage, and the ingenuity that had brought them this far. Humanity had faced annihilation and had survived. Humanity had struck back when no one believed they could, and as Earth's fleet returned victorious, one truth shone brighter than any star. Humans had fought, humans had survived, and humans had changed the galaxy forever. The war was won, but humanity's story was only beginning. The stars were vast, full of unknown dangers and new adventures. And Earth, once underestimated and ignored, was now a force the galaxy would never forget.